Thank you for using IC Solutions. You may begin speaking now.
Ultra Rising, greetings. This is Lord Heka-blac, a.k.a. solraeljustice, a.k.a. Heka the Black Butterfly, a.k.a. you already know who this is, man. It ain't no need for no introduction. Happy Moon Day from here all the way to the moon, you dig? Alright, guys, first and foremost, thank you with more gratitude than the word gratitude can hold. You feel what I'm saying? As for the law of gratefulness, I am wholeheartedly, appreciative of all of your help out there that I've been receiving. Thank you for all the emails. Thank you for all the shares, the likes, the comments, Cash App, contributions, and to help me get little things while I'm locked up, or to help get a lawyer and all that right there. First and foremost, before we get started, guys, I simply just want to say, that I love everybody out there, man. And keep on going after your dreams, keep on keeping on, and don't never give up. Don't let nothing stop you. Don't let nobody deter you from what you know you're supposed to be doing here on this planet. With that being said, everything I do out the kindness of my heart. As per the law of giving and receiving, if you would like to, donate for my work and for my lectures and, for balance, the Cash App is down below in the description box. Also, to anybody out there that, if anything in this lecture touched you in such a way, I'm asking that you like the video, please, and I'm asking that you leave a comment, guys. It's all about interaction, guys, and I'm asking you all for your interaction so that you can help me to stay in the algorithm. So if you agreed, if you got any perspectives to share, go ahead and comment down below. Don't be having me talk to myself, man. Don't be afraid. It's all good. All right, y'all. So today's lecture, guys, I want to kind of expand on a little bit further on the one we did the other day. And this one is called Charges and Destinies Explained, Law of Rhythm and Law of Harmony. Okay? So I wanted to explain a little bit what the charges are and what are destinies. So when I'm talking about charges, I'm not really talking about court-appointed or accusations or nothing like that, right? When I'm talking about charges, I'm talking about the charges that come in different forms. For example, like taking charge, charges like emotional, electrical charges, positive or negative, charges like responsibility, charges like requirements and obligations, and charges like debits to an account, right? Like debits to an account. So let me give you an example of what I mean by destiny, right? So destinies have so many different meanings, but what I'm referring to on here is destiny that deals with the future outcome of a situation. And by situation, I mean a particular timeline, time-space continuum. So I'm going to tell you a quick story really fast, and we're going to tap into this really quick lecture. So there was this boxer named Hurricane. It was a movie, and it was a hurricane. His name was Hurricane. Now, he had been locked up for some crime that he didn't do. He was innocent. And so he was in jail for a lot of years, right? So what happened was I call this the Hurricane Boxer Experience example. So what happened was his destiny, right? Because destiny deals with the future outcome of a situation. His destiny was to become a famous boxer, and that's the timeline that he had chose, right, based on his soul evolution and expansion is concerned. And so he wanted to, he didn't know, that's what I'm saying. He didn't know his destiny was to be a famous boxer, right? But this was his soul's destiny, right? And so the fate was him being locked up innocent, but his soul's destiny, which was the future outcome of the situation of him being locked up innocent, was him becoming a famous rapper. Famous boxer. So basically, while he was in jail innocent, based on a crime he didn't do, he learned how to fight in prison. When he learned how to fight in prison, once he got out of prison, he began to be this famous boxer that he was always destined to be. Now, what I mean by charges is there are certain requirements and obligations and debits that must be paid when it comes to a particular destiny timeline creation manifesting in the real life timeline reality. And so these charges are just like shopping at a mall. Like if you want to go to the mall and you look on the wall, you see some Nikes on the wall, and you get them, and you go to the cash register, and you take out your debit card, and you swipe your card to get them shoes. Now, you're visualizing yourself experiencing and walking in them shoes as you're looking at them in the store before you decide to buy. So when you actually choose to decide to buy the shoes is when you actually accept the charge that comes with the responsibility of you actually wearing those shoes and walking in real life and real timelines with them in actuality. So that's an example of exactly what I mean by charges and destinies. So when we choose, some of these destinies are predestined and preordained, meaning the higher self has already chosen the outcome or the many outcomes of a life in a human experience perspective. So, based on my book, The Universal Metaphysical Law of Divine Justice, a multidimensional perspective, I'm going to read to you the two universal laws that why these charges and destinies actually even occur in such a way. The metaphysical universal law of rhythm states that energy moves in cycles and that change is the only thing constant in this universe. The law of rhythm states that if a person changes their inner world, then everyone from the outer perspective alters to the rhythm that matches their new frequency. This law says the universe is not only mental, but it is also music and rhythm. This is the language of the subconscious mind. According to the natural universal law of rhythm, for every extreme low, there must be an extreme high, because these are the ramifications of true harmony, okay? So these charges and destinies are based through the law of rhythm and the law of harmony, all right? For every extreme low, there has to be an extreme high, which is why when Hurricane got locked up, innocent, that was his extreme low, but it turned it and shifted into an extreme high because he was destined to be a boxer. And if he would have stayed out there on the streets or however like he was, he who knows if he would have lived out to what he was destined to be. He probably would have chose a fated path. He probably would have got killed or something like that in the streets. So the metaphysical universal law of harmony states that harmony is the absolute potential to obtain complete balance within this universe as we know it. That if there is any disharmony, the universe will always be looking to realign and recalibrate itself, which can stretch through cycles of lifetimes after lifetimes of human experience existence. A law that supersedes the fundamental law of karma on a higher plane of existence, making the law of harmony an immutable law. True harmony is based in rhythm and balance. So basically, the universe we live in, it has to have rhythm and balance. But once you choose that pair of shoes that you want, right, and then you charge it with your debit charge, now this means you got to take the responsibility. The responsibility that comes with buying the shoes. You got to buy the shoe cleaner. You got to make sure you keep your shoes fresh. You got to make sure you don't walk in mud. Like there are certain charges there are certain responsibilities and that comes along with buying the shoes. You have to take charge of the shoes. You have to take charge of your life. So the whole point is identifying which charge has to be paid in order for you to experience whatever timeline consciously. Now, remember, Hurricane had no idea that he was supposed to be a famous boxer. He had no idea, right? So some of these destinies and these charges, they occur, and the human hasn't even have the slightest idea of why it's happening because the human mind cannot grasp the full complex of the entire situation, okay? So, depending on the altitude of which destiny you choose, depends on the charges that are attached to it, right? Now, this, when I say by you choose, I mean based on the oversoul and the higher self and the ethereal substance which desires to experience in the real life timeline continuum. Okay? So now these charges and destinies are based on the law of rhythm and based on the law of harmony. Right? So there's always going to be a balance of everything. So let's say you want to have this timeline. Remember, I think I told y'all, I said the ending is always more beautiful than the beginning. But the ending is always a new beginning as well. Let's say you're building a house. You got the idea of building a house. how to construct it. You got the foundation up, but you may encounter a lot of different plumbing problems. You may encounter mold. You can encounter all type of issues or trials and tribulations before that house is completely built. But once that house is completely built, it's now the beautiful ending, but now it's a new beginning, because now you're taking on new charges and new responsibilities, like utilities, or like keeping the grass cut, or things like that. So what I mean by this is when the higher self, sometimes the higher self chooses a timeline for you, right? And so there's a magnetic pull that's attached to each destiny, right? And these be them decisions that you don't even know why, like you kind of made them decisions until it happens. And once you're in the decision, you can consciously be aware of the process in the circumstances and the conditions that you have put yourself in. The whole point of the game of life is actually trying to be as consciously aware of the soul evolution as possible, so that you can remember, because the memories are everything, okay? The memories are your soul identity. The memories are, the inevitable experiences that occur in any time, space continuum. All right, so now that we have a clearer idea and perspective of what these charges and these destinies are, sometimes, the human, like I do believe in that I know that there is a higher power. I do believe that the human have the illusion of free will. But for some reason, from my perspective, it's like the illusion of the free will only creates delays and illusions of it gone further, but sometimes it haven't. Now, just like when I'm trading, or if I'm trading on the charts, things like that, you're always going to have new highs and new lows. It has to happen that way. That's the natural order. So we have to respect nature's natural laws, right? And that is law of rhythm and the law of harmony. And so sometimes when your destiny or your anointing is so huge on your life, your soul has already agreed and to certain charges and responsibilities that come with certain timelines, right? And just like building that house, in the beginning, it's not as pretty, right? You got wood everywhere. You got freaking insulation. You could just, like, it's not as pretty until you get the walls up, until you get the windows in there, until you get your furniture and your decorations and stuff like that. It's just like that, right? And you have these huge timelines. Just know that any extreme low you have in your life is only there to balance out the extreme high. So when these times and destinies do manifest, it's important that you pay attention to your environment and your surroundings and your thoughts, and it's important that you not let your ego take over your mind and your body and have you feeling negatively oriented about a situation. Always try to stay optimistic and always try to stay high in spirit, so that you can be aligned with the eternal intelligence that is within your true self. So once you're aligned with this true intelligence, you then begin to receive all types of ideas, all types of information that you can turn let's say an extreme low, you can transform it into an extreme high. And that right there is how you continue to thrive, right? That's how you continue to invent and co-create. So let's see what else I got to say on here about that topic. I just wanted to bring it through, like, these charges, bro. Like, you gotta really, really understand these destinies, y'all. And so it's really about the laws of the universe is everything, bro. I know I'm not saying that they have to be like that for everybody. I'm just saying that for me, in my own personal experience, I've noticed that, like, they actually work and they come through and they always working, and it helps to relieve suffering, okay? It just helps to be able to know and be able to identify your experiences with something, right? And, yes, with using technology, we can...
1 minute remaining.
Just a little bit, but that's only temporarily, unless it's like a cyborg situation or whatever, right, where you have a human who don't have ears, but then you have technology that they can wear to help them hear. So it's like nature said, no, you can't hear, but with some technology they can. So unless those type of situations occur, but other than that, y'all, I wanted to say thank you, man. I hope you and enjoyed this lecture. I hope that it was able to, enlighten some of y'all. Maybe you want to watch it and listen to it twice, man. Take notes, because I definitely dropped that gold on here, man. I know you have a blessed day. Peace. I'm going to see y'all. I'm out.